Let's talk about the larynx. I've got three different models of the larynx right here. This little guy right here is a 3D print of an actual larynx. So this is the size of an actual larynx, and you can see comparison there to a quarter. We're going to use these other two larger models to look at some of the other structures of the larynx in just a little while. But we're just going to move Papa Bear out of the way, and we're going to move Mama Bear out of the way also, and we're just going to talk about Baby Bear here for just a little while. We're also going to move this quarter out of the way. So we're going to start by considering the cartilages of the larynx. This is not a cartilage of the larynx, this is the hyoid bone. It's connected to the thyroid cartilage of the larynx, which is this guy right here. It's this V-shaped cartilage. Anyway, the thyroid is connected, the thyroid cartilage is connected to the hyoid bone by the thyrohyoid membrane right there. The V-shaped thyroid cartilage is open in the back, so this is again the thyroid cartilage right here. Another cartilage we have to look at is the cricoid cartilage. This is the cricoid cartilage right here. This is the cricothyroid membrane that connects the two. The cricoid cartilage, in contradistinction to the thyroid cartilage, is closed in the back. It forms a complete ring. In fact, the posterior aspect of the cricoid cartilage is pretty big. Perched on top of the cricoid cartilage posteriorly are the arytenoid cartilage, the cartilages. These are paired. Here's one here, and here's another one right here. This thing going from the back of the thyroid cartilage to the so-called vocal process of the arytenoid cartilage is the vocal cord or vocal fold. That's it right there. You can see that there's one on each side. Another noteworthy thing in terms of the arytenoid cartilage is this area right here. This is the muscular process. So you have a vocal process anteriorly, and you have a muscular process off to the side, which is obviously where the muscles are going to attach. Let's go ahead and consider a couple of other things that are important in terms of the larynx. What does the larynx do for a living? Well, one of the things that it does for a living is it keeps food and drink out of your airway. Basically, the larynx sort of forms the connection between the pharynx and the airway. So there are two ways to keep food and drink from getting into the airway. One way is for this cartilage right here, this is the epiglottis, to fold back posteriorly over this opening right here to prevent food and drink from getting into the airway. You can see right here, here's the trachea right here, which I said connects to the larynx. The other way to keep food and drink from getting into there is to have these vocal folds come together. Now normally there's some tissue right here also. This is not normally a hole in real life. But when these vocal folds come together, that keeps food and drink from getting down into the airway. Let's talk very briefly about two muscles of the larynx because they're a little bit unique. What the muscles of the larynx do, and I'm going to go ahead and pull Papa Bear apart here so we can look at some of these muscles. What the muscles of the larynx do, or the internal muscles of the intrinsic muscles of the larynx do, is that they change the vocal cord. So here's the vocal cord right here. This is the false cord right here. This is the true cord right here, and this is the so-called laryngeal ventricle right here. All of the intrinsic muscles act to some extent on the vocal cords. They either change the tension of the vocal cords, they change the length of the vocal cords, or they make them adduct, in other words, bring them together, or abduct, pull them apart. There's only one muscle that abducts the vocal cords. That's this muscle right here. This is the posterior cricoarytenoid muscle. So this would be a good one to know about. Another muscle that's fairly unique is this muscle right here. This is the cricothyroid muscle. It's unique because it's the only one of the intrinsic muscles of the larynx that is not supplied by the recurrent laryngeal nerve. It is supplied by the superior laryngeal nerve. Thank you.